Hi, I'm Colleen Hanich. I'm the president of LaSalle University. And while it is always a good day to be an explorer, there are certain days in our year when it is a great day to be an explorer. And our annual Blue and Gold Days fit into this category. Those are the days when we gather all of our admitted students together in one place on our campus. And the excitement of that is just incredible. Students have finally found what they feel to be their home away from home after all the months and sometimes a couple of years of the stressful college search process. They come together as explorers, really, for the first time. So not only do those students get to meet one another and begin to plant the seeds of lifelong friendships, but they also have a great opportunity to connect with our faculty and staff and meet those who will support them on every step of their LaSalle journey. So like everything else, Blue and Gold Days this spring are a little bit different than most other years. Those of you who are seniors have had an incredibly challenging few weeks. Everything from your classes to your sports and your proms and your summer jobs or your spring jobs and your graduation, it has all changed. But one thing that has not changed, and that is our desire to have you join us as explorers this fall on this campus. That hasn't changed one little bit. So while we're not able, of course, to gather in person today on our campus to celebrate Blue and Gold this spring, we can certainly invite you to sit back and imagine yourself as a LaSalle explorer. We have gathered a number of videos and brought together some programming from across our community that really will give you a sense of what it means to be an explorer and what you have to look forward to. So students, you are graduating as the class of 2020, and as explorers, you will be our class of 2024 here at LaSalle. You have faced more challenges than any other group of incoming freshmen in recent history, and you are succeeding at adapting to this new reality that is changing every day, and yet you are managed to keep focused on what is in front of you. As difficult as this is, there is a silver lining. Believe it or not, you are developing some incredibly valuable skills for your future selves. Your ability to move through this period of challenge and keep on track as everything keeps shifting and changing under your feet. And for those reasons alone, and for that incredibly valuable skill set that you are developing as a class, you are exactly who we want on this campus as our explorers into the future. You have exactly the skills that we need and that will allow you to thrive at LaSalle. So at LaSalle, we never take the easy way out. We don't look for shortcuts, especially around obstacles. Instead, we march right through the center of those obstacles and we solve every one of them. We don't worry about challenging times. Rather, we lean into challenge and we own that challenge. And we are able to do this because in this LaSalle community, what we always say and what our explorers believe is that, in fact, explorers are never lost. So as you are forging your own path forward in this community, you're going to have so many supports from those of us around you, faculty, staff, other students, our alumni, the Christian Brothers. Our goal is to make sure that all of us succeed, and in particular our new students as you arrive, that arrival is a smooth transition and that you are set up for lifelong success. When we look at our explorers in the midst of this very challenging public health crisis, we see them everywhere. We're healthcare professionals, we're frontline first responders to this crisis, we're professors who continue to reach out to our students and don't just know them as a name, but know their stories, their lives, what makes them tick, and how all of that can roll up into future success. We are over 50,000 alumni who are giving their time and their talents to support LaSalle across the world and to make sure that our explorers truly are never lost. And of course, as LaSallians, this is just how we do things. It's who we are. It's how we face and encounter challenge. So welcome to LaSalle. If you are someone who is focused not on surviving, but on thriving, you've come to the right place. Let's get through this situation that is in front of us. Let's wrap up all that we need to wrap up, and let's start getting excited for August. I look so forward to greeting you on our campus and starting the next stage of your journey as LaSalle Explorers. Thank you.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Jim Plunkett. I am LaSalle's Executive Director of Admissions, and it is my pleasure to welcome you to our first ever Blue and Gold Day. We have put together an incredible program for you today that includes live presentations with LaSalle University's leadership, a live student panel, a presentation about how to finance your education, one-on-one financial aid counseling, a virtual campus tour, and pre-recorded academic, student affairs, and financial aid sessions. Before we begin our welcome, I had a few brief announcements. Our live welcome this morning will feature members of LaSalle's leadership who are excited to be with you today. And joining us this morning, we have LaSalle's interim provost and vice president of academic affairs, Dr. Lynn Texter. We have vice president for student affairs and enrollment management, Dr. Dawn Souflaris. Dean of the School of Nursing and Health Sciences, Dr. Kathleen Sikansky. Dean of the School of Arts and Sciences, Dr. Pamela Barnett. And then Dean of the School of Business, Mary Sheila McDonald. And after the welcome, we'll then move on to a live student panel at about 10:30 a.m. featuring our current students who are eager to answer your questions that all things LaSalle. And our final live presentation at 11 a.m. is brought to us by the financial aid staff and student accounts receivable, who help inform you about ways to finance your LaSalle education. And once those are completed, your day's still not over. You'll then have the opportunity to enter and meet with our specific admissions counselor and current students and get all of your questions answered about enrolling at LaSalle and taking those next steps. And when you are finished with your session, please browse our library of recorded content featuring our academic programs, student life, and financial aid. Now, would we have rather have held this event at LaSalle University, having you engage with our community members and walking our beautiful 140-acre campus? Absolutely. However, this is, as you know, not possible. So what do? We did the next best thing. We brought LaSalle directly to your living room. Make no mistake about it, today's virtual Blue and Gold Day is about you, the accepted student. Today will help you see all that LaSalle University has to offer you. And the admissions staff and I have been fortunate to have spent the last year or so getting to know you, getting to know your family, your academic plans, your goals for the future. We've read your application. We've spoken to you at your high school or community college, and we've met you and your families at one of our previously held on-campus student events. And it is my hope that you will in turn take some time today to continue to get to know us. Take a deeper dive into your academic offerings. Engage with our students and take a virtual tour of the campus. Most importantly, take some time to get to know the incredibly talented, caring, and motivated men and women who make up this beautiful community we call LaSalle University. I know that you fit here at LaSalle. That's why you were admitted. However, this is not my decision to make. You are the one that has to take the next step. You are the one who will declare your intent to enroll at LaSalle University. You are the one who will begin your path as a LaSalle Explorer. I congratulate you on your acceptance today. I welcome you to LaSalle University, and I would like for you, your family, and loved ones to sit back, relax, and enjoy the day. At this time, I would like to introduce to you Interim Provost and Vice President for Academic Affairs, Dr. Lynn Texter.
Thanks, Jim. So, I get a few minutes to chat with you about all the special things LaSalle, and as everybody's been saying, we're really used to being with you in person and interacting with you and talking with you. So I'm going to try to use my time to talk about 3 distinctive characteristics of LaSalle to help you make your final decision of where you're going to attend college. So if I'm going to talk about the 3 things, the first thing is practical education. As I'm waiting for my my PowerPoint to pop up here, the practical education is, when we talk about LaSalle education, we talk about from the beginnings, we talk about the importance of having students be able to apply what they learn in the classroom to settings beyond the classroom. So when we look at it, we talk about the top skills that employers want. And we know that what we build into our core curriculum is the opportunity for you to take those skills that will translate into the workplace, into communities, and beyond. So when we combine our courses with the field experiences, et cetera, you get that practical education that is absolutely essential for your success when you go beyond LaSalle. So the second thing here, and I am not seeing my PowerPoint. There we go, a little bit behind, but there we are. There's our practical education and the top skills that employers want. All right, we'll be very adaptable as we're going on here. We're gonna go to our next. There we go, Lasallian community. Our Lasallian community, one of our expressions is together and by association. And we talk about this notion of the feel of what it's like to be here. And it's hard to do that virtually, but it's important for you to know that our namesake, LaSalle, is the patron saint of teachers. And that means something to us here at LaSalle. So every school is going to say teaching is important. And we say teaching is the most important thing that we do. We're together and by association in the classroom, in the labs, on the fields, in the co-curricular activities that we have. De La Salle called upon Lasallian educators to be brothers and sisters to one another and older brothers and sisters to our students. That is, brothers and sisters to one another and older brothers and sisters to our students. And that means that we have a different relationship with our students. It means we're going to know your name. We're going to get to know your story. We're going to learn more about you, and you're going to learn about us. And just like a family, we're going to encourage you. We're going to challenge you. We're going to push you. And yeah, we're going to tease you. We're going to nudge you. We're going to try to help you be everything that you can be. We're going to really show you that a caring and committed faculty, staff at LaSalle, we're going to show you the value of being together and by association. When we go and we talk about the third thing that I want to share, a distinctive thing about LaSalle, is our students are ready to work and ready to lead. Foremost in most of your minds is when we look at what's going on in the world, what happens after you leave college? It's an investment. When we look at that, we say that year over year, our students are going to come out of here and we're going to be best and best and best. And so when we look at that, we say, when we look at what Money Magazine says, we look at what Wall Street Journal says, we look at Forbes Magazine, we're rated as best in value, excellence, and outcomes. In particular, we're proud that in a recent Georgetown University study, our students come out, when they graduate, and 10 years out, our students are in the top 4% nationally. Nationally, our students are in the top 4% in terms of earnings. And that means that what you get here allows you to go and be successful beyond LaSalle. So one of the other things that we talk a lot about, I'm going to see our next slide here of the top 4%. There we go, and we'll go one more. There we go. Practical education, Lasallian community, ready to work, ready to lead. So let me launch from that into talking about the comfort zone. So one of the important things we say is that notion of us as Lasallian educators together and by association is we need to get you out of your comfort zone, into the learning zone. Now, it's also important for us to pull you back from that panic zone, but we've got to get you out of what's familiar and comfortable. In the world, especially we've seen the last couple of weeks, the ability to adapt is important. So we have to go beyond what's comfortable to where we're really going to be learning. And that's what I said, that's our job as the educators across campus. We're going to push you into that learning zone. And it's a good time for me to quote a well-known philosopher from something you may be familiar with the Shifu from Kung Fu Panda 3, who says, if you only do what you can do, you'll never be better than what you are. If you only do what you can do, you'll never be better than what you are. So we call upon you when you come here to do things that you haven't done before, to push beyond. If you're a really good writer, it's time for you to improve your math skills as well. If you're really good at the sciences, it's time to learn more about history and critical thinking. If you only do what you can do, you'll never be better than what you are. And it's our job to help encourage you to do more, to better, to go beyond this. So we really want you to explore your options when you come here to LaSalle. We talk about the notion of LaSalle making you an explorer. Well, life is adventure. LaSalle makes you an explorer. And it's our job to help guide you and push you and make sure that you can go along the way. So when we look at success, here's what we think it looks like. But what we really know is here's what success really looks like. There are going to be twists and turns in your paths that you haven't expected, and maybe that you weren't even looking for. But you should know that we're going to be there with you to guide you, to assist you, to encourage you, to cheer you on, and to challenge you. As President Hanich said, we don't take the easy way. We work so that our students and our faculty and our staff will be better together and by association. So, as I said, life is an adventure, and LaSalle makes you an explorer. We're going to provide the guidance for you to blaze your own path, to go forth into the world with certainty and purpose, and to explore relentlessly as you become the person you truly wish to be. We're going to be with you every step of the way. Explorers are never lost. You've heard it many times, whether again in the classroom, in the labs and beyond. We're going to be with you. I hope to see you here in the fall. Come join us.
Thank you very much, Dr. Texter. I think all of us this morning running today's virtual Blue and Gold Day are most certainly operating what you refer to as the learning zone. So thank you for your presentation. I'll now ask my colleagues and fellow panelists to introduce themselves, and after their introductions, we'll take some time to get some questions from you for LaSalle leadership.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Dr. Dawn Mesa Souflaris, and I have the honor of being the Vice President of Student Affairs and Enrollment Management here at LaSalle. I've been at LaSalle for about 4 years now, and it's really been an incredible experience. My responsibilities at LaSalle are the out-of-the-classroom student experience, and so everything from admissions right through to graduation. And it's really been an amazing opportunity to meet so many wonderful students while I've been here. Just to let you know, we have 120 clubs and organizations. We have a very full Greek life, and almost every one of our students participates in some kind of service or community service opportunity within Philadelphia, within the state of Pennsylvania, within the United States, and sometimes abroad. And so we are very proud for the service and the social justice mindedness of our students here at LaSalle. Other parts of the things that I'm responsible for and get to participate in is all of the on-campus living opportunities, including our live and learning communities. And as you may or may not know, we are the only university in the Philadelphia and Pennsylvania area that have a dog-friendly residence hall. So dogs are a part of our campus and provide us a lot of joy to be able to see them on campus every day. I myself am a first-generation college student, and coming to LaSalle with other first-generation college students has been really an amazing opportunity to see the growth and change and learning that happens for our students here. So I'm so happy to see you all virtually and meet you all virtually. I look forward to your questions today, and I really am excited to see you come in the fall as explorers. Thank you.
Good morning. I'm Pamela Barnett, and I'm the Dean of Arts and Sciences and a professor of English here at LaSalle. The School of Arts and Sciences, you can earn degrees here in the humanities, the social sciences, the sciences, and what I call the applied social sciences, like education and social work. So my role as Dean of Arts and Sciences is to support the school, the faculty, and our staff to make sure that we are providing a transformative educational experience. We are changing lives, and we think very holistically about what we're preparing you to do. We want you to make a good living, but we also want you to have a good life. And part of having a good life entails serving the common good, serving something larger than yourself. That's very key to us as LaSallian educators. I wish you were here too. We've talked a lot about, and you've heard other people say that if you're on campus, you really feel the sense of community. We often talk about being a LaSalle family. And I just want to briefly tell you how the faculty have responded to the necessity to take our classes online for the remainder of the semester. And people have been getting together and sharing ideas because we want to make sure that even in the online environment, that people still feel like you're getting a personalized, individualized education, that you still feel a sense of community in the classroom. So faculty have been talking both online, in discussion boards and in Zoom meetings about things like making sure that they're encouraging students to come to office hours so you can have those one-on-one conversations about how you're doing at this time, but also your career aspirations, the class, any questions you have. They're talking about learning how to put students in small groups in Zoom so that people can still have really good, rich conversations about course material. And some departments are hosting virtual coffee hours so that people can still get together and feel that sense of community. So we are great teachers here, committed staff. We put students first, and I think you really get to feel that when you're with us. I hope you get to feel it today. Thanks for joining us here online, and I hope you'll join us in the fall.
Good morning. My name is Kathy Sikansky, and I'm honored to serve as the Dean of the School of Nursing and Health Sciences. I'm in my 12th year at LaSalle University, and our Blue and Gold Days are very special events because as a community, we come together to welcome and honor you, our accepted students. The faculty, staff, and students from our school are very sorry they can't meet you in person today, but I hope you get a sense of how special LaSalle is through our event today. You'll meet some of our students in the next panel, and they are our pride and joy. Now more than ever, we recognize the need for prepared and competent healthcare providers. And I'm proud of the graduates from our school from nursing, nutrition, public health, and communication sciences and disorders who are in the front lines of managing this crisis. They are our true heroes. Across all of our disciplines, faculty are using this as a learning opportunity for our students to impress upon them the foundational skills of infection control, the promotion of health and wellness, understanding epidemiological data that we are presented with every day, and the need for caring for the whole person. So, after just our first week of remote learning, our faculty and students have been busy and engaged. Our junior nursing students who are in their mother-baby rotation are very disappointed to be missing this rotation at the hospital. They have, however, completed a simulated case study of a laboring mother, had a virtual guest lecture from a local lactation expert, and did another faculty-developed case study on a pregnant mom who tested positive for the coronavirus. Our nutrition interns also have had to move to alternative experiential activities, and their professor has been able to integrate case studies from her newly published book into their coursework. What's even more impressive is that the publisher of this book has offered these case studies to programs across the country free of charge, knowing other students need this valuable resource. Our communication science and disorder students have the opportunity to learn about telehealth right now, as our on-campus clinic is offering services to clients remotely. And the world is the classroom for our public health students as they see how public health principles are played out every day. What I can tell you is that we have talented faculty and students who are waiting to welcome you, the next class of explorers. Your educational path here will always be relevant, and the world needs you to be the best you can be. We're here to pave that path for you, and I so look forward to meeting you in person in August. Thank you.
Good morning. Hi, this is Mary Sheila McDonald. I don't see myself on the screen. I guess I'm up there. Good morning. I am coming to you not from Founders Hall. Please do not report me to Governor Wolf. This is a virtual background. I'm coming to you from the Philadelphia suburbs. Some of you I have had the pleasure to meet, and I just want to give a special shout out to some students who've been texting me, and I see on social media. Caitlin from Bishop Shanahan, come on, make your decision. I want you to be a business explorer just like your father. Hi, Greg from Basking Ridge, New Jersey. Also a special shout out to the 4 first members of my Dean's Freshman Advisory Board, Adriana, Haley, Dylan, and Ben. So this is how I rock and roll. A lot of people know that my background is as an attorney. I've been in higher education for over 30 years. I know I look a lot younger than that, but yes, 30 years. And 9 of the last years have been at LaSalle. I've been very happy to be a business law professor and the Dean of the School of Business. Everything that my sister deans has said, which Dr. S has said, which Dr. Texter has said is true. We have a practical education, but it's very personalized. Making money is not a bad thing, but having a life of purpose and meaning, combining it with making a good living is a great thing. And that's what we stand on, the shoulders of the Christian Brothers, our LaSallian education. The ROI, the return on investment of a LaSalle business education has been documented by various outside sources. And I invite you, young men and women, the class of 2020, to join me in the fall. Join Adriana, Ben, Dylan, hopefully Caitlin, I know Greg, and Haley as members of the class of 2024. Please follow me on Twitter at Dean Mary Sheila and the School of Business at LaSalle_B School. And I do hope that later, after the live sessions, you will go on the School of Business website on the virtual Blue and Gold, click on to my special welcome where I detail some of our programs, and then links to welcomes by our department chairs and some of our special programs. We are very different, and I assure you, you will not be lost with us. Take care. God bless. Hope to see you soon.
Thank you to all of our panelists. And where else but our virtual Blue and Gold Day can you get a virtual shout out from the Dean of the School of Business? I mean, that is incredible. Thank you for that, Mary Sheila. We'll now take some questions for you. We have time for about 1 or 2 questions. To ask a question, all you have to do is click the little button at the bottom that says Q&A and write your question, and it will pop up on my screen and I will see it and we can ask our panelists. So take some time, ask a question or 2, and we'll stand by. Okay, I have a question. Actually, it is for Dawn. I think would be a good person to answer this one. What single piece of advice would you give first-time parents of incoming freshmen about the year ahead?
Oh, thank you for the question, Jim. I think it's a great one. And so as a mom of 3 children and 2 still in school, I will tell you that it's an interesting journey to watch your son or daughter go to college and see the growth opportunities that happen from the time you drop them off in August until the time, even though you'll see them a little bit in between, until the time you pick them up in May. And so some of the things to look forward to is to watch the independence that students garner from being in college. They certainly will be very different. They'll be very much more independent, which might sometimes be a challenge when they come home because they do not necessarily want to just be your son or daughter anymore, but they want to be treated as a full-fledged adult, which they are. But the opportunities that they have from interactions with other people from all over the world, to their degrees and things that they're studying, to service opportunities, they'll be very different, but in a good way. You will see that all the fruits of your labor from the time that they were born until the time you send them to college all pay off because of the incredible humans that they become during their first year of school. So while it sounds kind of scary when your first one or second one or third, and on my case, go off to school, watching them grow and develop into incredible humans because of their college experience is something that I think should make every parent proud.
Thank you, Dawn. I have a question for Lynn, and it is the question, what makes LaSalle different from all the other local schools?
Wow, that's a tough one. I guess I'd go back to some of what I was talking about in my presentation, the way that we view teaching. As I said, every school says teaching is important, but here we think teaching is the most important thing that we do. And you see that everywhere across campus, not just from our professors, but from our staff and residence life, from our folks in the Student Affairs Division, that we really see that is the feeling you have, and something that today is a little bit harder to convey via virtually, is that feeling of connection we have with each other, that you really develop friendly relationships with your fellow students, with your faculty, with staff across campus. And that is the thing that I think it's that feel you have when you're here, that we're in it together. An interesting thing happened. I was in a meeting the other day, and we were discussing some really, really difficult issues, some really challenging. There was a lot of energy in the room around what we were talking about. And there was actually a consultant who was with us. And after the meeting, I said to the consultant, what'd you think of the meeting? And she said, I thought it was great. And I said, what are you talking about? And she said, it was unbelievable to her as an outsider to see how much everyone cares so much about our students and about each other. And she said, it came through even when you were disagreeing vehemently, the care that you had and the commitment you have to each other and to education was remarkable. And I think that's something that's a distinct LaSalle brand. Together and by association, we get her done.
Thank you, Lynn. All right, that's all the time we have for questions for this particular session. Please keep your questions. Ask our other live sessions coming up after this. We have a student panel session. You will get your questions answered today, I guarantee you that. I want to thank my colleagues and my fellow panelists for joining me for our first ever virtual Blue and Gold Day. And it is our hope that this day finds you, your family, and your loved ones healthy and safe. And please join us for the rest of the day. Up next, as I mentioned, we have our student panel, but before that, we'll show you a short video and then we'll start with our students. Thank you. Hi, my name is Jim Plunkett, Executive Director of Admission here at LaSalle University. As a two-time LaSalle alumnus and a proud LaSalle parent, I can confidently say that this is more than just an undergraduate experience. I am an explorer because LaSalle has given me a lifetime of opportunities and memories of which I am eternally grateful for. Congratulations to you on being admitted to the university, and I hope to see you as a new explorer.
I'm an explorer because our LaSallian mission is to teach minds, touch hearts, and to transform lives.
I'm an explorer because I love helping students blaze their path.
I'm an explorer because of the personal attention you get at LaSalle.
I am an explorer because I can venture into the unknown.
I'm an explorer because of academic variety.
I'm an explorer because of the hands-on experience.
I'm an explorer because of the opportunities I've been given outside of the classroom to further my education through research.
I am an explorer because I love being part of a community that cares for and about each other.
I'm an explorer because LaSalle is my home away from home.
I'm an explorer because my professors know my name and my story.
I am an explorer because of the diverse culture on campus.
I'm an explorer because I'm passionate about the future of nursing.
I am an explorer because here my goal becomes a reality.
I'm an explorer because of the extensive alumni network.
I'm an explorer because I love helping other explorers get to their final destination, that being college graduation.
All right, hello everyone. My name is Max O'Connor, and I am the Assistant Director of Undergraduate Admissions. I will be moderating the student panel portion of today's virtual session. Over the next 30 minutes, you'll get the chance to hear from some of our current LaSalle students and ask them about their experiences as explorers. Please utilize the Q&A function on the bottom of your screen to post your questions, which some of you did in the last session, which I will relay to the students. Type your questions in at any time, and we'll do our best to get to as many as possible with the time that we have. Before we begin, let's have each of the students introduce themselves. Sydney, why don't you go ahead and start?
Hi guys, my name is Sydney Aston. I'm a sophomore business systems analytics and finance major, and I'm from Northeast Philadelphia, Pennsylvania.
Hi everyone, I'm Mackenzie Bender. I'm a junior here at LaSalle studying communication and political science, and I'm from Biglerville, Pennsylvania.
Hi everyone, I'm Kate Deneen, and I'm a sophomore nursing major from Long Island, New York.
Hi everyone, my name is Mary Kate Fazy. I am a junior double major in elementary and special education with a religion minor, and I am from Baltimore.
Hi, my name is Jake Garwood. I'm a senior chemistry major with minors in mathematics and leadership and global understanding. I live in McKeesport, Pennsylvania.
Good morning, future explorers and explorer families. My name is Nick Palayo. I am a junior communication major concentrating in public relations and interpersonal communication from Delran, New Jersey.
I'll go next. Hi guys, my name is Chloe. I'm a junior communication sciences and disorders major in the 5-year program, and I am.
Hi everyone, my name is Becca Smith. I'm a senior in the class of 2020 studying marketing and management and leadership with the minor in biology, and my hometown is Columbus, Indiana.
All right, great. So the first question I want to get to is, When you guys were seniors in high school, why did you wind up choosing LaSalle? So why don't we hear from Jake, Chloe, and Becca. Jake, why don't you go first?
So when I was looking for a college, I really knew how important it would be that I would have small class sizes, individualized attention, that my professors would definitely know who I was. And I was pretty convinced that LaSalle would be able to give me that. 4 years later, that's absolutely been the case. Really, the feel of the community that we have is just incredible, with all of the support that you get from your classmates, from your professors, from your roommates even. And so I really picked it for the feel of that community and the individualized attention that we get here.
When I was a senior and I was looking at colleges, I knew at that point that I wanted to be a speech pathology major. And there weren't a lot of colleges around me that offered a 5-year program. So that was definitely a big draw in for me. But then once I eventually got on campus and I toured it, I come from a very small town in New Jersey, and I had never really been like familiar with the city. I wasn't sure how I'd feel about it. I know that Nick knows we're from the same town. But once I toured campus, I absolutely like fell in love with it. The second that you get on campus and you get to meet faculty and students, and even through an event like this, you just get to feel, like Jake was talking about, the entire community, like feel, and everyone here wants you to succeed. Everyone knows you. And yeah, I still feel the same way 3 years later, so.
When I was a senior in high school, I was actually looking to play a Division I college sport, and I ended up being recruited to LaSalle to play on the women's golf team here as a Division I women's golfer. So I knew when I was looking for schools, I wanted to find a balance of strong athletics and strong academics, and I knew that I wanted to make sure I had good grades and as well as I had extra competition on the golf course. So when I got to LaSalle and I toured, I knew that this campus had exactly what I was looking for, and the community and Catholic aspect of the school also appealed to me. And now it's been a very interesting experience coming from a small town in Indiana, moving all the way out to Philadelphia, but I would do it again in a heartbeat.
Great, thank you guys. Next question we have here, Mary Kate, I'm gonna ask you, it's about our education program. So what sort of professional experiences, as well as in the classroom experiences, does our education program offer our students?
Okay, thank you for the question, Max. As I said, I'm an elementary and special ed double major, which is one of the programs that LaSalle offers. So with that, I'll be certified in the state of Pennsylvania from pre-K 4 until 4th grade in general ed. And in special education, I will be K-12. So I can teach anywhere in special ed, which is what I would like to do. Additionally, we have the middle level, which is, I don't remember the exact grades, but it's the middle grades, and then we have secondary. As a freshman, you're in a classroom and you're getting that hands-on experience. And at most schools, you're not in a classroom until you're a senior and you're student teaching, which is a really, really scary thing to think about, because what if you don't like it? Well, you know right away at LaSalle whether you like the program or not, because you're in a classroom as a freshman, and you find out pretty early on. And I am very happy to say that I will be student teaching in the fall. So.
Great, thank you, MK. Our next question, I'd like to hear from Nick and Kenzie. This question is about nightlife at LaSalle. What kind of nightlife does LaSalle offer students, as well as different programming on the weekends?
So as part of the student activities fee that all students pay, we have something called Late Night LaSalle, and that's our weekend programming that we have on campus. And Late Night puts on a ton of events, great events throughout the year. Often they're themed around the time of year. So in October, it'll be like Halloween themed stuff. Towards the holidays, more holiday themed programming, and they always try to come up with new and different things for us to do on the weekends. Everything from game shows with some pretty cool prizes, to escape rooms, to different theme nights. Just such a great way to hang out with friends, have something to do, win great prizes. But I would definitely recommend to all students to check that out.
So hi everyone again. I'm a resident assistant. So that means that I oversee, well, this year I oversaw 18 freshman girls. So part of the nightlife aspect, I would say, is a lot of the RAs have to put on programs. Actually, all of them do. So there's a lot of programming initiatives around that. So specifically, one example, I took my girls this year downtown to Dilworth Park to go ice skating. That was one of the little nightlife things that we did. So all of that, was covered and everything for the students. So we just took SEPTA, the public transportation system, downtown. We had a fun night. We went ice skating, then we went to Shake Shack afterwards for dinner. So that was just one example, but there is a lot of different options for nightlife at LaSalle too.
Great, thank you, Nick. Thank you, Kenzie. This next question we've gotten a couple times already. What sort of professional experience does LaSalle provide its students? And for this, I'd like to hear from first Kate, then Sydney, and then Jake can round it off. So Kate, why don't you go ahead? What sort of professional experience has LaSalle given you?
Okay. Hi guys, I'm Kate. So I'm a sophomore nursing major. The nursing program is really great about giving students hands-on clinical opportunity from their sophomore year on. Most nursing schools, students only start clinicals junior year, but at LaSalle, I've already completed 2 clinical rotations. I know, so some of the hospitals that we are associated with are Penn, Jefferson, CHOP, Temple, Holy Redeemer, Lankenau. So there's really a variety of places for students to choose from. I know at least 3 juniors right now who, one has an externship for this summer at Jefferson and 2 are at CHOP, and they're actually starting their externships now because of the coronavirus outbreak and the need for more nursing staff and nursing support staff. So that just really shows you that LaSalle, these students are prepared to be out there on the front lines helping people even before their junior year, even before their senior year, before their junior year is over. So yeah.
Hi guys, my name is Sydney. Again, I'm a business student, and I can tell you, being a second-year business student, there's definitely a lot of opportunity no matter what your major is. So from marketing to accounting, and the opportunities for internships and co-op programs range from the big 4 accounting firms to maybe the smaller firms, independent companies. But LaSalle doesn't just prioritize business students. They also have a career fair every fall and spring, so that say if you're a psych major, if you're an education major, you can take advantage of going to those career fairs and sealing a deal with a company that specializes more to your major. So there's an opportunity for basically anyone who wants one. So yeah.
So I have benefited a lot from a really fantastic program that we have in the School of Arts and Sciences. Every summer we offer research grants to professors and students. So I've been paid twice by LaSalle to conduct research over the summer. The first time I sought out that opportunity, I went to a professor, proposed the idea, and we actually got the grant for it from the university, spent the whole summer researching. But my second summer of doing undergraduate research, I was actually approached by a professor. And I think that's somewhat common for students at LaSalle to have a professor who comes to them with these opportunities to do research, to join an existing project or start up a new one. So it's a really great support system, fantastic resume booster, and it's given me the tool set to be able to transition now into graduate research in chemistry, which I'll be doing next year.
Great, thank you guys. Next question, again, we've gotten a couple times already, asking about what's around campus and safety on campus. So first, Nick, if you could speak to a little bit about where campus is located and getting around campus. And then Becca, if you could talk a little bit about on campus and surrounding campus safety. So Nick, go ahead.
So our campus is located in what's referred to as historic Belfield. That's the specific section of Philly, or 20th and Olney, as it's commonly referred to as. Getting around campus is super easy. Our campus is small enough geographically that it's really walkable. And also we have a shuttle operated by our public safety department that drops students off at different points around campus. One of those stops is our Broad and Olney subway stop. So students have direct access to SEPTA, like Mackenzie had spoken about before, your direct path into the city. And what's great about the shuttle also is you could track that through your LaSalle app. So we all have the LaSalle app on our phones, has a couple of cool features. One of those is tracking the shuttle. So in terms of getting around campus, I would say the students either walk, or if the weather's not great, we also have the shuttle.
And Nick, to add on to that, we do have a significant amount of security around our campus and on our campus, which one of those is our public safety, which operates our shuttle that runs all around campus. So public safety is LaSalle's own public safety task force. It's essentially on-campus police or on-campus security. And they do walking, biking, driving patrols 24/7 all around campus and the surrounding areas. Now, we also have 2 more branches of security on our campus. And the first one is the Philadelphia Police, and they patrol the surrounding area of campus. We're in the 35th precinct. Their headquarters is actually just down the street. So it's a very safe area in our neighborhood because we always have patrols around to make sure everything is safe. Additionally, we have a Securitas system, which is essentially a branch of security workers that work at all of our residence halls and at all of our academic buildings, just to make sure that everyone who's entering those spaces is a LaSalle student or a LaSalle faculty member and is supposed to be on campus. Now, in our residence halls, our security is also very strict. We ask that you check in all of our guests at our registration desk for security, and only students who live in that residence hall are allowed to enter that residence hall.
Great, thank you guys. Our next question is for Kenzie. Kenzie, can you describe what our living learning communities are and how our students can get involved with them?
Yeah, so we do have a new initiative, I guess it started 2 years ago now, almost, called our Living Learning Communities. So they are located in St. Catherine Hall, which is located in our North Residence Halls. So there are 4. So one is Signum Fidei, which is our community service living learning community. The second is a World Cultures living learning community. Third is Health and Wellness. And the fourth is Creative and Performing Arts, which the acronym for that is CAPA. So basically there will be a section on your housing application after you confirm to LaSalle where you can put, it will say, would you be interested in being in a living learning community? You could put yes, and then you put like a brief paragraph or, short essay, I guess, why you would want to be a part of that community. So for instance, for CAPA, so my best friend, Liz Hallinan, is the resident assistant for that community. She oversees it. So basically you just have to have an interest in that living learning community. So for instance, maybe you were involved in like band or choir in high school and you don't really want to lose that part of your identity even at college. So you would put that in the little summary. I was in blah, blah, blah. This is why I want to be a part of that community. They do programming. It's all covered under the Living Learning Community budget. They have their own lounges that are all redone. So CAPA specifically has, a stage. They have a piano, a big screen TV. They have canvases, paints, paintbrushes, all the supplies where they can do a lot of programming in the lounges, but they also go into the city. So they'll go to like shows downtown at the different theaters and so on and so forth. So they're really cool opportunities to get involved with here at LaSalle.
Great, thank you, Kenzie. Our next question is about managing time, extracurriculars, and schoolwork. So for this, I'd like to hear from Kate, Chloe, and then Mary Kate. Kate, you can start if you talk specifically about kind of the nursing curriculum and how you managed to be involved in extracurriculars, studying, and everything on top of that.
Yeah, so first, besides being a nursing major, I am also one of the community service scholars. So not all of you may know about it. If there's anybody that's coming as a service scholar next year, hi, we're going to be very close. So that program, you apply for it in your senior year. The deadline has passed. But that program requires us to do 7 hours of community service organized by LaSalle a week. And we have to attend around 3 meetings a month with the group and then one-on-one meetings with our advisor. So then the other point of that, the nursing program is very rigorous. We take all of our prereqs in freshman year. So you get your anatomy 1 and 2, chem, and microbiome, along with psychologies done in your freshman year. So first year, that was definitely difficult trying to manage time. But the resources that LaSalle provides are really great. So we have student SIs, which is a supplemental instructor. So it's a student that actually gets paid who's taken the class before to sit in your class and listen in on the lecture, take notes, and then hold review sessions like 2 to 3 times a week, just going over everything, preparing for a test coming up. And since they took the class, like, they've already taken that test. They know what it's like. So that's something that I utilized a ton my freshman year. And like, I actually became friends with my SI because I went so often. But again, like, just since LaSalle is a smaller school, there's such a close community and everybody there really has the students' best interests at heart. So there's tons of academic support. We have academic coaches and people who are there who are giving seminars on how to manage your time, creating study schedules with you. I think the best way to manage your time is to get involved, to create a schedule for yourself, especially in that transition between high school, having like a 7 to 3, sometimes 4 to 5 day, depending on like if you play sports or not. Then having, maybe a class at 8:30 and a class at 3:30. So just kind of creating that schedule for yourself, but also getting involved in things that take the stress. If anybody else.
Hi, everybody. Hi, guys. My name is Chloe again. Like I said before, I'm a communication sciences and disorders major in the 5-year program. And I'm not sure if anybody like listening is interested in that, but similar to nursing, it is also very rigorous. On top of my major, I'm also involved in working for admissions as an ACE, and I'm a writing tutor for the Center of Academic Achievement. So just to kind of go off of what Kate was talking about, freshman year, I also had to take anatomy and physiology. And in order to like manage like being able to study, like learning those different study strategies, because I don't know about everybody else, but like I did not study like I did in college, like I do in college as I did in high school. It's completely different. So really it's just learning like who you are as a student and taking advantage of everything that LaSalle offers as far as like academic help. And they offer a lot. So another way that I manage my time, well, first I prioritize my education, but also I am a person that keeps multiple color-coded calendars. And that's something that I would suggest to like anybody, especially if you're involved in more than one thing. Write everything down, because if I didn't write stuff down, I'd be running around like a crazy person all the time. Along with like my course load, I also work about 10 hours a week between both jobs. And I like to volunteer occasionally, at least like once or twice a week at the Boys and Girls Club in North Philly. And I also like to exercise, make time for my friends, make time for myself. That being said, that's why the calendars and the scheduling, and I would also advise getting stuff done early. In college, like it'll kind of end up like kind of biting you in the butt if you wait to do stuff until the last minute, because if you wait to do stuff until the last minute, you're going to have 100 different assignments to do. So when you get an assignment, what I do is I write everything down. I know when stuff's due. I know when I have time to get it done. And that's kind of how I manage my time here at LaSalle between everything.
So as both Kate and Chloe have said, I'm also someone who keeps a planner. I'm also someone who writes everything down. I guess that's the inner teacher in me, that like everything has to be color coded and like different color pens. But also leaning on the people who you're around and like who you surround yourself with. The education program is pretty small, I would say. There's 9 people in my classes. I have class with the same 9 people. And I know you guys are probably like, oh my gosh, class with the same 9 people. That sounds like high school all over again. But I don't have class with only the same 9 people, because I'm taking other courses that LaSalle has pushed me to take in order to become a more well-rounded student. So it's leaning on those people who you have those classes with all the time. I have a group chat with all of my friends from my education class. We have a new one every semester. It's in GroupMe, and it's just the name of our class. And we'll get a message sometimes at like 11 o'clock when class is at 12:15, like, oh my gosh, like, can someone please bring me a granola bar to class? And things like that, that wouldn't be something that you would think of that you would ask a classmate for, but LaSalle is a community, as everyone has said this morning. So leaning on your community in times of need.
Great, thank you guys. We'll try to get to one or two more questions. This one is for you, Becca. As a student athlete, can you talk about that experience as well as athletics on campus and how all students can enjoy them?
Of course. So just to begin, we do have 25 Division I athletic teams on campus. They range from some of our more established teams like our men's basketball and our women's soccer programs to some of our newer teams like the water polo teams. On top of our Division I sports, we also have intramural sports and club sports. So a club sport is where a LaSalle University team plays a different university team, and an intramural sport is where a LaSalle University team plays another LaSalle University team. So those are all different ways for students of all like competitive levels and skill levels to get involved in the sport that they want to. We have many different sports offered in both club and intramural. As a Division I athlete myself, I spent 3 years as the captain of the women's golf team here at LaSalle. So my weekends and my afternoons were typically spent either on the golf course or in our on-campus training facilities, specifically for golf. So it was a bit of a time management adjustment, just coming from high school where you have your 2-hour block of practice every afternoon, as opposed to in college where you're expected to take some extra time to improve yourself on your own in addition to working with your team. But that's why LaSalle focuses on student athlete. We focus on the student part in addition to the athlete part. So LaSalle has the entire second floor of the Tom Gola Arena, or of the Trumark Financial Center in our Tom Gola Arena, which is our athletic building on campus. The whole second floor is dedicated to academic facilities specifically for athletes. So those extra tutoring sessions, computer labs, academic advisors are there to help you make sure that you are a student first and you are also an athlete as well, because we know you're coming to college to get that college education and play that sport just to have the fun and the competitive side. So I will say one thing as a student athlete, my professors were so enthusiastic that I was an athlete. I never had any problems about missing a class for a tournament and making up work or going into my professor's office hours to get extra help or support. I've also had professors that have emailed me the day after tournaments and asked how I played. Some that would give me a pat on the back when I walked back into class. I would bring my golf clubs to class if I had practice right before, and they were so excited that I was competing for the school and doing well. So being an athlete makes up a decent chunk of our student population on campus. And if it's something you're interested in, I definitely say to consider it. I had a fantastic time on the golf team and I've loved every second of it.
Awesome, thank you, Becca. This will be the last question that we're able to get to. And it is for Jake, and then we'll go back to Becca. How has LaSalle set you up for your time post LaSalle? And what do you plan on doing? So Jake, you can go first.
So next step for me is a PhD in chemistry. So I've been going through my own college search process right along with you this year. I've been accepted to 5 different programs. Now, trying to figure that out, I only have until April 15th, and I have no clue where I'm going to go. But LaSalle has been a really fantastic resource in getting me to this point. And, we are a small school, but we have the outcomes of a larger university because, specifically in our sciences, we have a lot of equipment, that's similar to what you would expect at a Research One institution, but the difference is that undergraduates actually get to use that at LaSalle. And that's, across the spectrum, not just in sciences. The resources that we have are available to you as an undergraduate. And that experience that you're going to have is going to give you a leg up over a student at a larger university who can't say that they know how to run this scientific instrument or can't say that they've looked at our rare Bible collection that's 400 years old and so many different things like that. So it's really the access to the resources that has given me this leg up over other students and given me the skills that I need to go on to grad school now and be successful.
I agree with everything that you just said, Jake. And I would also like to add that LaSalle has prepared me significantly in the professional side of things. So I know in this panel, we've already mentioned the career fairs and also the career center that we have here at LaSalle, but the professional experiences and the professional training to go out into either a corporate world or into a clinical setting that LaSalle has is phenomenal. I can say that I've had classes where we have mock interviews, resume reviews, as well as being able to sit down and understand just some professional aspects of the workforce that you don't typically get in a normal college class. And a lot of those things are highlighted in the School of Business for the corporate world specifically, but they are widespread across all of our different majors and departments here at LaSalle. Now, for me specifically, I have a marketing and a management and leadership dual major. So I have really focused on some of the soft skills, which a lot of other universities don't. I know very well how to carry myself in a professional setting, how to make large presentations, and how to not feel nervous when public speaking in front of groups, as I'm doing to 212 of you right now. I'm very lucky to have those skills under my belt that LaSalle has taught me. In the future, I actually am going to be using my soft skills and my risk management skills to head on to flight school, and I'll be a pilot within 2 years.
All right, great. Thank you, Jake. Thank you, Becca. All right, everyone, that is all the time we have for the student panel. I'd like to thank all of our students for their insight and for sharing their LaSalle stories with us. Thank you, guys. There were so many questions. Unfortunately, we didn't get to all of them. You will have the opportunity to chat in a bit of a smaller setting later on today with your admissions counselors, as well as a couple of these students and more students will be in there with you. So take those opportunities to get all of your questions answered. But up next, we will have our financial matters presentation about financial aid at LaSalle University, moderated by another member of our enrollment staff, Michelle McDevitt.
Hi, everyone. Thank you, Max, and thank you, students. The student panel is always one of my favorite parts of the day. As Max mentioned, this is the financial matters session, and I'm actually going to turn this over. We have Troy Jones from Student Accounts, as well as Jen Hausman, who is the director of our financial aid office. And Jen and Troy are going to be doing a presentation for you. And then also they'll be opening it up to take questions. And then for myself, I'm going to be back at the end because after the session's over, that's really when you kind of choose your own path. So I'm going to share my screen and walk you through everything. So I will be back up at the end, but right now I'm going to turn it over to Jen and Troy. And like I said, I believe they will be taking some questions as well. So Jen and Troy, enjoy.
Good morning. My name is Troy Jones, and I am with the Office of Student Accounts at LaSalle University.
Good morning. My name is Jennifer Hausman. I'm the Director of Financial Aid here at LaSalle. So this morning we're going to go over the Affordable Path for All and financing your education at LaSalle. Step 1 is reviewing your award letter. Your award letter is going to explain things such as your anticipated direct charges, which are your tuition, fees, room and board, your offered financial aid, which is grants and scholarships, federal direct loans, and federal work study, your estimated balance, and the payment options to pay that estimated balance. Step 2 is bridging that gap, financing your education, and bridging that best of balance. You have 5 options to choose to bridge that gap. The first being the Direct Parent Plus loan, the second being the Private Alternative loan, the third monthly payment plan, the fourth a lump sum payment, and the fifth an outside scholarship. So first we're going to talk about the Parent Plus loan. It is a federal loan that is available to parents of dependent undergraduate students. Biological, non-custodial, step parents, and adoptive parents are eligible to borrow under this program. The parent remains the principal borrower throughout the life of the loan. The current interest rate is 7.08%, but is subject to change after July 1st, 2020. Department of Education does have an upfront origination fee. Please keep this in mind when you're choosing how much you would like to borrow. If you need assistance determining how much to borrow, please contact Financial Aid and we'll be more than happy to help you with that. You have the option to defer these payments while your student is enrolled at half-time at LaSalle. Otherwise, this loan does go into repayment while your student is enrolled. If your parent is denied, the freshman can borrow an additional $4,000 through the unsubsidized loan program. Please go to the federal website at studentaid.gov or the LaSalle Public's website under Financial Aid for additional information. The second option is a private alternative loan. So a private bank or credit union loans students and parents money for higher ed. The student will likely need a creditworthy cosigner to borrow into this program because most 17 or 18-year-olds do not have a sufficient enough credit history to borrow on their own. The interest rates are going to be dependent upon the lender and your credit history. Most lenders do not have an upfront origination fee, unlike the federal Direct Plus loan. LaSalle cannot suggest any particular lender, but we do have a list on our website, and you see the link below on your slides, where we do have the most popular lenders at LaSalle over the past 3 years. So it will help you start your research if this is an option you'd like to pursue, but it is not an all-encompassing list, and you can choose whichever lender you would like. Troy?
Good afternoon. This is Troy Jones again from the Office of Student Accounts. Just wanted to touch upon a couple options that you have available to you. We do offer an interest-free payment plan that will have a $45 enrollment fee. At this point, you will have up to 5 months for the installments. The installments will start in the month of July and go through the month of December. The payment plan is subject to any questions that you may have. You can always reach out to the Office of Student Accounts at the number listed on your screen if you have any questions regarding your payment plan. Once again, the payment plan is offered at an interest-free, and it will be a one-time interest fee of $45.
Troy, can you oh, sorry, there you go.
Once again, the student can also visit the university cashier in the Office of Student Accounts if you would like to make your payment in person. Also, there's a payment plan option. You can go to the university's portal. You can make that payment 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, as a result of visiting the university's portal at any time. That information is also provided to you at a free charge, once again, 24 hours a day, unless you decide to come directly to campus and visit the university's cashier.
The fifth option is an outside scholarship. There are plenty of free scholarship searches out there, such as College Board, FastWeb, and Find Tuition. Please be sure to use a free search because there's no reason to pay upwards of $500, which we have seen, to get information that you can already get for free. So this is a final option in order to pay your remaining balance. As I would say, you do not have to choose just one. You can choose a combination of all of these options to pay that remaining balance. So what are the next steps? The next steps are financial aid updates will be sent to LaSalle's email account for the students, as well as the parent email address listed on the FAFSA. Additional items that may be needed in order to process your financial aid are verification documents, the institutional data form, master promissory note entrance counseling, and for those that are Pennsylvania State Grant recipients, via corrections. We also highly suggest that the students create an account on GradReady. This is a free financial literacy program that LaSalle has partnered with. It will allow the students to learn additional information about financial aid, understand student loan indebtedness, understand repayment abilities, creating a funding plan, considering debt to income scenarios, and establishing an in-school budget. So if you get a credit balance from the university, this will help you sort of figure out how to stretch that money to pay your books and get through the semester for your incidental expenses. Also, creating that funding plan allows you to look at different parts of the funding options and how you can utilize them to pay that remaining balance. Troy?
Good afternoon again. The university also offers what is known as an electronic e-bill will come to your student email address once the invoices have generated for that particular semester. You have 30 days from the date of the receipt to avoid any late charges that may assess to your account. Once again, the Office of Student Accounts will always be there to discuss internal payment options if you are running into any kind of problems with regards to making those payments, just to avoid those monthly service charges. The university also will provide you with a e-refund process. This is basically a direct deposit option for you at no charge. You can always visit the university's portal to enroll into e-refund. The main reason we strongly suggest or encourage students to enroll into e-refund, as the refund will be directly deposited into the account and you can have access to those funds immediately. If the university has, if the student has decided not to enroll into e-refund, the university will have to process an actual check and mail the check to the student. This may prolong you receiving those refunds by at least 3 to 4 days at times. So that's why the university strongly encourages each student to enroll into e-refund. Once again, this is a process that is at no charge to the student, and the information can be found on the university's website.
So here's a list of our contact information to reach us further if you have additional information about financial aid or student accounts receivable. Now I'm going to turn it over to Alex Fink, one of the Associate Directors in Financial Aid, for question and answers. Alex?
Thanks, Jen. Hi, everybody. So at this point, we just want to turn the floor over to the audience and allow you guys to ask some questions, which you can submit using the Q&A button at the bottom of your screens. Either Jen or Troy will answer some pre-selected questions, while other financial aid staff will respond directly in the Q&A box to those questions. Just keep in mind that these questions should be as generic as possible since we're in a fairly large group setting. But if you have any specific questions regarding your student, there are still a few spots open today for some individual financial counseling sessions, whether on the phone or in Zoom. So either I or Michelle will post a link to that, maybe to the chat, so you guys know how to access that part. And if we don't get to your question today, you can always contact us using the information, that contact information that was on the last slide there. And we will also be having those individual phone or Zoom counseling sessions Monday through Fridays for the remainder of this month. So if you don't get to answer your question today, there's plenty of time. You can have some time to think about it and reach out to us later on at some point this month. So let me just see if there's any questions coming through so far. Okay, Jen, so I'll give you this one if you don't mind answering. Is it guaranteed that the financial aid will stay the same all 4 years?
So as long as you reapply and you continue to academically qualify and financially qualify, yes, that will stay the same for the 4 years that you are enrolled.
All right. And Troy, I know another common question. If somebody has a 529 or some kind of college savings plan, how can they go about using that?
Okay. The suggested process would be to reach out to the office that houses the 529 account, find out the manner in which they use in order to send those funds to the university. For the most part, it has usually been a check. So you would just need to provide the 529 with the address for the university, and they will go forward with regards to providing the university with those funds at that time.
Okay. And this is a good question too, that somebody has submitted, Jen. If you know you won't get any sort of assistance or any kind of funding from the FAFSA application, is it necessary to complete it each year?
So you can always get a federal direct loan regardless if you don't qualify for anything else. So for no other reason, you may want to apply for a FAFSA just to get that small loan. Also, sometimes these outside scholarship agencies are looking for you to at least file that when they make determinations about eligibility, even if they are merit-based.
All right, and Troy, can some people might be asking, I know this is something that we get a lot for this incoming student, can students pay if they're doing the payment plan, or whether they're making a one-time payment, can they use a debit card or a credit card, or what kind of information can they use?
Yes, you may use a debit card or a credit card. However, there's a 2.5% fee that comes along with using a debit card or credit card. So we try to suggest to students to come to campus and pay in person at the cashier with possibly a check, a cash or a bank check, or send a personal check or mail or money order through the mail, just to avoid that additional fee that comes along with using a credit card or a debit card.
Okay, I'm just scrolling through. So kind of the same question. I don't know, this is kind of a combined one for you guys. Can you use a 529 account to make monthly payments on the PLUS loan?
I don't honestly know how that would work in terms of paying the lender,
but you can certainly reach out to the servicer of that loan and see how you could make that happen.
I would agree with that.
And got another one here. Is the meal plan a part of financial aid?
If you're talking about in terms of what those direct costs are that we financially gets applied to, then yes. So back when we originally started the presentation, we talked about the direct costs. The direct costs are tuition, your room, and your meal plan, or what they call board.
Okay, Jen, another common one that we see a lot is from Caleb. As a transfer student, my direct loan amount was listed as the freshman amount. Can this be adjusted?
Absolutely. So once you're evaluated for your transfer credits, we will adjust that based on your transfer work to the loan. Please feel free to reach out to us and we'll be more than happy to look at that for you.
Okay. And what about scholarships? Any additional scholarships that the LaSalle might have for incoming freshmen? If a student's already received their award letter, is there any other institutional scholarship they can apply for?
So there is a common scholarship application out on our public website that you can complete to possibly apply for some of our internal, external scholarships. We don't have it available yet for 2020, 2021. So be on the lookout on our public website for that to become available. It is typically available a little later this month.
Gotcha. All right, we got a lot of good questions incoming now, so I'm trying to scroll through. So this is another good one and a very common one we get. So when should a student, or when should a parent, I should say, go onto the LaSalle portal and apply for the Parent Plus loans?
So we ask that you apply after June 1st so that the credit check is still valid at the point that we're going to get ready to certify when we get closer to billing in July. So that will be opened up in a few months for you.
And I just want to note that you wouldn't actually have to go through the portal to do that part. You're going to go to studentaid.gov to apply for the Plus loan.
With your federal FSA ID and password, yes.
Right, yeah, we have some generic information on our website about Plus loans, but when it comes time to actually apply for it, since it's a federal loan, you go through the federal website for that.
Thanks, Alex.
No problem. I just noticed that when I was reading the question. Here's a good one, especially about work study. So when are student jobs posted for federal work study?
So they get started posting July 1st, but they are updated constantly through the summer, as most academic departments are not necessarily on campus during the summer. So as campus comes back to life closer to the start of school, more departments will post positions. So you can start looking in July 1st and keep looking all throughout the summer as they continually get updated. They will also get updated into the beginning of the semester as well.
Okay, Troy, just because I want to get you into this too. What is the average monthly payment for installments for the payment plan?
Well, what will happen is the actual payment plan system will take the bulk of the actual amount that's listed on student's account, and it will divide it up into either 5 payments if it's the fall or spring semester. It'll divide it up into 3 payments if it's the summer semester. Once again, the payment plan is a one-time fee of $45. From there, you can either always reach out to student account if you have some questions regarding the payment plan, or you can log into TouchNet via the university's portal if you would like to see what exactly is going on with your payment plan.
Cool, thanks, Troy. I got 3 in a row that are really good common questions. So let me go. These are all going to be for you, Jen. So, how does the Sage Scholars funding work?
SAVE scholarship. I'm not particularly familiar with that term. Are you talking about where's it right now?
I would assume, is that the points one, Jen, where we match a certain point percentage to point?
It could very well be. So you notify the admissions office about the amount of points that you have accumulated, and then they look at that, and if our institutional dollars already meet that, that's how we're meeting the SAGE scholarship. If your points exceed what we've already offered to you in institutional dollars, you will get an additional institutional grant to cover those points.
All right, and we got a couple of these questions about, sorry, so I'll make sure I can select that so everybody sees it on the screen. I'm hoping everybody can see the questions on the screen. It's about matching scholarships from other schools' award letters?
You are more than welcome to appeal to the university and provide those other universities' award letters, and we will take a look at to see if we will be able to award additional dollars. There is a financial appeal process in the portal. I will ask Michelle to post that to the chat.
And what about going a little bit more in depth for the details or the differences, I should say, as far as not that one, as far as subsidized versus unsubsidized loans, just so everybody's clear on that difference.
The subsidized loan, the principal and interest are completely deferred while your student is enrolled. The unsubsidized loan, the principal is deferred, but you're technically responsible for the interest quarterly while your student is enrolled. You can choose to defer those payments, but they will capitalize over the period of time that your student is enrolled and you're not making payments on that. You will technically have bill posted every quarter to your servicing account for those loans, and you can choose every quarter whether you want to make those payments or not.
Okay, we got a question about FIA, which is good because we didn't go into any questions about that so far. So this person is asking, can we just explain a little bit further as far as the FIA application for the Pennsylvania State Grant? It's a little confusing. It says I can't apply until I graduate high school. That seems late in the process. I can touch on this, Jen, too, if you want, because I know I do a lot of applications. Yeah, so I tend to walk a lot of students, especially incoming freshmen, in as far as completing FAFSAs. So you only have to do the FIA state grant application as a separate entity once. The remaining 3 or however many years you're an undergraduate student, the FIA application will renew automatically when you submit the FAFSA. But again, that very first year, your first application, once you get to your FAFSA confirmation screen, it'll give you a link to the Pennsylvania State Grant. So you are able to complete it before you graduate. It should just ask your expected graduation date. I know I've helped a lot of students who, like you said, if the FAFSA for next academic year is open in October, clearly students aren't going to graduate yet. So it should give you the option to indicate, I think it's just the month and the year. So you should be able to say that in June of 2020, the student will graduate. If you're still having some trouble with that, again, you can reach out to us and we're happy to follow up with you or give you the FIA's contact information to see if there's some kind of different error going on there.
And it's not too late for 2020, 2021. The Pennsylvania State Grant deadline is May 1st.
Yeah, good point.
Hi, everyone. I came back. Alex, do you want to take maybe one more question? Because I want to have a few minutes to just walk them through the next steps as well before the next session start.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, let me pick a good one maybe. I think we kind of powered through a bunch of them. Hopefully it wasn't too fast. Sub and unsub loans. Okay, Jen, what about if a student receives scholarships from outside organizations, could that affect their other financial aid that they have?
So we try not to actually adjust our awards, but sometimes with the federal government allows for a need-based, we can't exceed a certain number and we will have to make adjustments, but we try not to as a rule. So once you submit it, we'll be more than happy to evaluate your financial aid package and tell you what effect it would have.
Okay, great. Thank you all so very, very much. And as both Jen and Troy and Alex said, any questions, any follow-up questions, anything they didn't get to, feel free to reach out, email them. And I am going to point out where you can make those one-on-one appointments with a financial aid counselor. So at this time, I think the easiest way to do this is to share my screen with everyone. This is the point in the programming where you kind of choose your own path. So let me just share my screen with you all here and hit share. Okay. So I'm going to post this link to everyone in just a few moments. But this is our virtual blue and gold for today. And this is the last of the live sessions. I'm going to end here with the exception of the next session, which will start in about 5 minutes, which we'll click there for. There's some other things I just want to point out. First of all, if you are sure that LaSalle is the place for you and you haven't already confirmed your spot, you can click here to enroll. Here's some wonderful information about our Explorientation. We are the LaSalle Explorers. We don't have a plain old orientation. We have an Explorientation instead. Many people were asking academic questions in all of the Q&As, and also a lot of our deans were saying to check out some of the major specific information. Many of our academics did some pre-recorded information on their the majors there, so that's where you're going to see that. Here's our student life stuff. Again, this is a pre-recorded, so you can look at it at any time, but I just want to make sure you know where it is. Here is some financial aid information. It has the presentation that you just saw, but this is also where you can go to schedule that private one-on-one appointment. We have some testimonials here, and then I know that many people were asking where they do the virtual tour. And actually, look, here we go. Here's Becca. All you do is click on her, and she begins the virtual tour for you. Let me also point out, this is a virtual daily Q&A with admission counselors, signing up to meet with an admission counselor, virtual experience. It's all right here. And as I said, if you click on this, this is where you sign up to get, so this is how you get the calendar. So let's see if there's any more appointments left for today. There are some virtual appointments left for today, but as Alex said, all this month, anything that is green, you just click on the date and all the time options will show for you. And then let me just go back to where we started. And this is going to be our last live session. So in about 3 minutes or so, you can click on the Zoom live session, and here are all of the admission counselors. And each admission counselor has their picture, their name, but also just the different high schools that they support. You can see sometimes it's entire states, sometimes it's just specific zip codes, but this way you can find who your admission counselor is, and you can go into that specific session. You'll be able to speak with your admission counselor. Each admission counselor has 1 to 2 current students with them. And I think each of these will be a little different because student concerns, someone coming from, you know, say North Carolina is going to have some different questions and concerns than someone from much closer, I'll say Northeast Philadelphia. I'm a Northeast Philly girl myself. I just saw Father Judge. That's where my brother went. So, you know, just different concerns and in each of these different areas. So you're going to want to scroll through, look, find who your counselor is, and go ahead into that Zoom session. So what I'm going to do now is take this, and I'm going to stop sharing for just a moment. And I'm going to go to here, and I'm going to post this to everyone. So now you have a live link. All you have to do is go over into the chat. So if you're down along the bottom tool here, the chat, not the Q&A where you were pointing questions, but the chat, you'll see there's a live link that you can just click on, and you're on the site that I was just on. And you can start combing through some of those pre-recorded sessions. You can take a virtual tour, or I would definitely encourage people to do the admission counselor sessions, finding your counselor and going into that, because the pre-recorded stuff is there and it will be there and continue to be there. So may I just say, you know, I appreciate everybody coming and joining us for our first ever virtual Accepted Student Day. We do hope that in the not too distant future, we can all gather on campus as a community and have a bit of a more traditional event. But right now it's important for everyone to stay safe, stay healthy, and let us know how we can help you with making your college decision through the virtual means as we all kind of learn together. So enjoy the rest of the day, and thank you so much for joining us.